It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, Christopher Luxon is a signed-up member of the Climate Change Believers Club, and he's just signed this government, your government, up to go further than the last government did when it comes to meeting our Paris commitments. Many are shaking their heads at this. Others say it's the right thing to do. But only 15 countries have met today's deadline, which demands countries update the Paris organisers where they're at. A staggering 179 countries have missed the deadline, too busy, and simply do not care enough. It's not a priority. That tells you everything, folks. Global agreements and rules-based agreements, I think, are falling apart in the wake of the Trump election, or re-election to the White House, and his decision to pull out of Paris. Agitators in government, like Winston Peters and Shane Jones, have made noises about leaving Paris, as has ex-David Seymour. So you've got three people in the coalition there that they want out. Why punish ourselves and bankrupt ourselves here in New Zealand when others aren't? Could it be just a giant overreaction? And by signing up to this, we sign our death warrant as a country? Those who play by the international rules and subscribe to them say we must, of course, stay the course. This is internationalism, you see. Shane Jones says, get real. It's economic lunacy waiting to happen, and it's happening on our doorstep. What is the point in being the example here? We should be fast followers and not trendsetters. Great, we're green, but at home we're broke, starving, and out of our jobs due to blindly signing up to Paris, which is really, really costly. And besides, the world order is, I don't know, you tell me, but I think it's melting down. Trade and climate rules have been broken everywhere, and, you know, what was a cosy agreed club in 2016 is now a bunch of hotheads doing what they like. What was collaborative before is now not, and America is throwing its weight around, and the tariffs are being threatened and introduced. 10 years ago, the world was much more together, the rules were clearer, and the world order, I think, is changing. America and Trump has turned the world on its head. What was agreed before suddenly is no longer. International rules and agreements are there now for Trump to pull out of. And the message to the world is they're not worth the paper they're written on. So Paris was taken so seriously 10 years ago. What about now? So should we give Paris the one-fingered salute and save billions? Be an outlier and an agricultural nation that refuses to be pushed around? Shane Jones is out there making videos like this one you're about to see from his office, telling climate activists to back off him. He's no denier, but he's just a pragmatist. Have a look at this.
Kia ora, folks. Shane Jones here. Of course I'm not a climate denier, but don't try and guilt trip the party I belong to, or indeed my good self, that because we take a more pragmatic and considered view where economic criteria is given a large degree of prominence, then all of a sudden you're going to write me out of the script as being a climate denier. Absolutely not. And all the shrillness in the world will not stop another Chinese entity creating a coal-fired power station or whatever they're doing in India, and all the taxing of the cows in the Canterbury Plains will not change the weather in Gisborne. We've got to learn to adapt. But adaptation has to mean that the communities and the people and the property owners have the authority to salvage themselves when these adverse weather events strike them. Don't wait for 2, 3, 6 weeks. Some walk short sock, Roman sandal bureaucrat arrives and tells the community, you can't do anything until we've permitted it. Meanwhile, the community is watching their property and their resources disappear as a consequence of a climatic event. That's the New Zealand first pragmatic approach to adaptation in the face of climate volatility. But don't dare think you're going to win this argument by just calling me a climate denier. I'll see you at the ballot box and I'll still be standing, no doubt about that.
So Jones thinks it's time for a serious rethink of Paris. This will give Luxon the heebie-jeebies because as coalition partners they've all agreed to Paris. But once again, the coalition partners are making all the play. It's Jones, it's Peters and it's Seymour. Where's Luxon on this? What does he really think? Does he have a voice?
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.